Sale Officer Training Series, Event Request. In this section, you will learn about event request forms and how to properly submit those for each event. Prior to submitting an event request form, it is important that you know at least 3 potential dates, 3 different locations, and 3 different time frames in which you could potentially host your event. This information will come in the form of a first choice, second choice, and third choice option for your desired event. Additionally, before filling out the student event request form, it is important that you have a name for this event, an estimated number of students that might attend, and that you are able to briefly explain what your event will consist of. Once you have all of the information listed above, you may begin filling out the event request form. To access the student event request form, you will need to navigate to your organization's portal. From there, go to the Events tab. In the upper right-hand corner, select Create an Event. The first portion of this form will be what appears on the Student Life Calendar once your event is approved. The next portion will be information that goes directly to SALE and CES for approval. This portion of the form is what you should be familiar with if you have submitted event requests in the past. Once you begin to create an event, the first thing in which you will need to include is the event name. For this example, it will be the Super Fun Sample Event. The second thing to include would be the category. Again, for this example, it will be under the Campus Activities Board's Event and Program. Once you've included your event name and what category of event you have, you will then need to include a short description of your event. And for this example, the most important thing to remember is to be descriptive. Include all that you have known for sure about your events in this section. Following that, you will need to include the when and where and the details in terms of date, time, and location for your potential event. Next, if you have an event image that was already pre-created, you can include it during this time. Following that, you will be able to include the type of participants in which you are expecting at your event. For example, if there is a limit as to how many people you can accommodate in a specific event space, you would select option number 1, or you would specify the exact number of people in which you needed to accommodate for in the second option. Lastly, you will need to specify whether or not you need an RSVP from anyone who plans to attend your event. If you are having students RSVP for your event, you will need to specify whether or not it is everyone or the administration staff only at Point Park University that will need to RSVP. Lastly, for this form, you need to specify who can see this option. For most student event request forms, it will all be all of Point Park, so that all of the students, faculty, and staff at Point Park will be able to see and to view your event and all of the specifics that go with it. Once you've filled out the first page of information, you will then need to include what type of organization is requesting the event. For all of your needs, it will be a student organization. Once you begin filling out the student organization event request form, you will need to enter in the following information. First, your club or organization on campus. For this example, it will be the Campus Activities Board. Second, you will need to include the position within your organization. Following that, you will need to include your Point Park email address. This form will also ask you to include your faculty or staff advisor and their desired email address. For all clubs/organizations on campus, excluding the Campus Activities Board, the contact information that you will need to include on this form is for Rachel Phillips, the Assistant Coordinator of Student Involvement, and her information will be shown first on this form. This will be the last page of contact information where you should include your personal information so that CES can contact you with any questions about your event. You will also need to specify what type of space you are requesting for, whether it be an event space, a meeting space, or a table reservation. For this specific example, it will be an event space. Once you have completed the necessary contact information, you should continue filling out the form and answering all of the questions that will be shown. All of these questions will pertain to your event or meeting, and you should be as descriptive as possible when completing this form so that the Conference and Events Services Department is able to fully understand the event that you desire to have. When this form is completed, you will submit the information and you will be sent a confirmation message via your PointSync account when your event request has been approved by the Conference and Events Services Department. If you are looking to access your form after you have submitted it, you can find the SAIL portal again on PointSync and click on the Events tab. From there, you will find your most recent submission and select it to review all of the information that you have included in the form. For this specific example, if we were looking to access our form after we had submitted it, we would go to the CAB portal, and from there we would select the Events tab, and we would see this current submission.